Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into an episode of The Wunderkind Morning Show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's good? Listen, guys. Hey, internet was down. It wasn't me. Like, man, it's been crazy around this time. They keep working on the lines. They were down. But yeah, we got a crazy show. Y'all already know what's going on. Stephen A. Smith versus Lebron James. And it's been nothing short of ridiculousness on both sides. I'm going to get into this because, man, let me tell you here. But first, before I get started, you already know I got to make my way to the chat. What's good? Good morning, everybody. Kush, first person in here. What's good, bro? Good morning, bro. Wiz Khalifa, bro. Jared Thomas said second. What's good, Jared? How you doing? How you doing? Money Mike said, my guy. Eli Sports, Nitro, finally catching you on the time today. I'm off time today. My internet was down for this whole block again. They keep working on the lines around this time. It would be the time that I'm doing a live, right? But this morning, it was actually down, so I couldn't go live. Like at all. And then the power was flipping on and off also because they were dealing with the lines. The power lines also were flipping on and off on the street. So there was no way I can go live. It was ridiculous. Stacy, good morning. How you doing? Good morning, everyone. King Lee, what's up, my bro? Truth, I'm about to speak the truth. SAK Box, I got you. Don't worry about it, bro. Oh, Stacy's your favorite show? So I salute you. Thank you. Nah, but for real, thank you so much for that. It means the world. Thank you. Nitro, can I get a wrench? What do you need a wrench for? Oh, you mean a wrench? You mean to... I was like, what you trying to hit somebody with? You trying to get into the LeBron stuff? Fight? Delvin said, peace. Gregory Smith, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, man, the timing. Sip the tally, man, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. I be out here fighting for my life. Did something else go on? Look at this, look at this, look at this. Now, look. They just sent this to me. We're aware you may be experiencing a service interruption due to a network performance and activity where, look, it's the first thing on my phone. And it just said now. I can't make this stuff up, bro. I cannot make this stuff up, man. It's crazy. But you already know if I put my mind, I'm gonna be here. And you know I'm usually punctual with my timing, so this is totally out of my hands. But thanks everybody for showing up. Guys, look, man. Look. Between LeBron and Stephen A., this is absolute ridiculousness. Now, before I show you these clips, I want to make sure that you understand where I'll never forget about y'all, Kush. Never, ever. Like, never, bro. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Williams, you said it another time. I don't know why my notifications doesn't come up for some people. You got to check your stuff. It got to be because other people get them. I don't know. YouTube's weird. Greetings and salutes, Will I Am. But let me just say this right now. I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. I haven't been a big fan of Stephen A for years. And it has nothing to do with his political background or anything else like that. I like to be totally forthcoming on everything that I see. It's pretty much that I kind of felt at times he could be a bully. And from somebody of my size and stuff like that, I don't like bullies, right? So that's part of the reason why I never was a big fan of Stephen A for a long time. Now, with the LeBron stuff, I'm not a big super fan of LeBron either, right? You know what I'm saying? I was never a big fan of LeBron. I respect his game. I respect what he's done for the league, everything else like that, blah, 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 blah. But I've never been a big fan of either guy. Here's my take on this. Here's my take. Stephen A. got too comfortable. LeBron addressed him. LeBron should have addressed him behind the scenes. But I feel like because Stephen A. has been so loud towards him, he knew. Like, I want y'all to understand something right now. Nothing LeBron does is not calculated. He understands he's under media scrutiny 24/7, 365, 24-hour coverage. He understands that. He understands that wholeheartedly. So every move that he makes is calculated. He knew that if he went and addressed Stephen A in front of everybody, if he was shouting, somebody would have picked it up, some of the audio. He knew it was going to trend. He knew it was going to be on Twitter. He knew it was going to be on Instagram. He knew social media was going to go crazy with it. That's just facts. He knew. So I felt like it was his way of getting back at Stephen A. Like, look, like, you know what I'm saying? You want to take shots at me? Fine. You know, and I know my sons, but when it comes to that father stuff, keep that out of your mouth because that's personal. Stop. And, of course, then, good morning, Tiffany. How you doing? How you, TGIF, what's good, what's good? And then, after all of this comes to fruition, of course, Stephen A. gets in his feelings. He addresses it again. And then this thing becomes a firestorm because I want you to understand context, right? Because every move is a chess move, okay? When LeBron James gave the interview to Pat McAfee, right? ESPN people, Stephen A. Smith and a lot others were taken aback about the acquirement of ESPN with Pat McAfee. I want you to understand, if you did not know this, this is the background. I'm bringing everybody up to speed. And they had to fire a lot of people to fit him underneath their cap, so to say. And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, including one named Stephen A. Smith. There's been multiple reports of Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee butting heads behind the scenes. And that's also because Stephen A. has been the face of ESPN for a plethora of years, with him covering everything from the NBA to the UFC to golf. Heck, I even watched him one time covering swimming. Because as much as you might not like the man, as much as I might not even really like to tolerate him, he brings in views. He brings in viewership. That is undeniably true. It's unmistakably true. You understand? So he felt a way that he was fighting for his contract, giving you guys all the back context, and they didn't want to pay him what he felt he was worth, or even what the market said he was worth, but they were so readily ready to throw whatever they could do to acquire a Pat McAfee. Now, LeBron knows this because everything LeBron does is usually behind the scenes. He has his own media company, everything. They're all connected. You understand? He knows what goes on behind, so he knows what that was. So what he did was, he said, okay, want me to piss you off? Want me to show you how big I am? Want me to show you how I don't need you? I'm going to go on the hated network, Pat McAfee, a channel that usually covers football more than any other sport. I'm going to give him the biggest basketball interview in the world. And there's nothing you can do about it. Right? And I'm going to address everybody also. I'm going to address Whitworth, whatever his name is, Windhurst, which I felt bad for. I really did feel bad for that guy. I'm not going to lie to you because I felt like he caught a stray for no reason. But this is like, I think LeBron's trying to act like more like Kendrick Lamar. Like if you're next to the guy that he's going at, well, then you're catch with a stray. Too bad, too sad. And that's where all of this stuff is falling from. So now Stephen A. feeling emasculated because you know social media is going to knit and prod you because he talks for a living. So now that he didn't address or give the same energy on camera to a LeBron who came up to him during a game, right? After he just signed his big deal with ESPN, he was there celebrating, I believe, with his agent and I believe one of the ESPN execs. LeBron knew this. This is what I'm saying. This is not checkers. This is chess. And he did that knowing. It's like, yeah, go ahead and show yourself up in front of your bosses. I don't got bosses like you got bosses. So now, Stephen A. is saying, I feel emasculated. Because, of course, social media is going to keep kneading and prodding that, oh, you soft, da la. So then, Stephen A. Smith, I'm giving you all the backstory, comes out with this.
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. Oh. That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
Now, to be fair to Stephen A. Smith, during that same clip, he said Stephen A. Smith said he would have swung, but the 6'8", 250-pound man would have probably beat him down. Okay, he's a Goliath of a man. He would have beat him down. He did say that. But you know how media is. They only cut for the sound bite. All right. I said this to show you how crazy this is. I said this. I sent this to Lunch Break Hot Take. For anybody that was in there last night, I was in Lunch Break Hot Takes inside of their comment section. And, I was, just being me. And I said this, and they were like, yeah, all right. And I said, no, for real. I got the vid. So when I sent it to them, I thought they were going to put it up on the screen and show their thing, but they didn't. No big deal. But so they knew. He was like, what? Are you serious? So yeah, he really did say that. So then, of course, LeBron, knowing the platform he has, responds like this.
Yeah, make it more free.
Of Stephen A. Smith showing his boxing capability.
Yeah, make it more free. Yeah, push.
And you know what I'm saying? Womp, womp. Now, you would think that's all LeBron James did. No, because sometimes you got to twist that knife. Then he does this. Now look, guys. Here's my thing. I'm totally transparent on this. I feel like Stephen A. Smith has been in the wrong, but I don't 100% agree with LeBron. Now, I do agree with LeBron addressing him, but not in the fashion that he did so. I was talking to my father about this earlier. My dad said, look, you're at a basketball game. He could have, if LeBron wanted to truly address, he could have done just a live on somebody's stuff. He could have went live on Instagram. You understand where I'm coming from? He could have went live on Twitter. It's going to go immediately viral. Like, immediately viral. Like, there's not going to be no shorts of how viral this thing would go. It wouldn't have changed anything, right? If he did it on Pat McAfee, if he did it on The Wunderkind Show, if he would have did it on Shannon Sharp, if he would have did it on Lunch Break Hot Take, if he would have did it on Sip the Tally, if he would have did it on Fox Sports, no matter where he was, this was going to be a viral moment in sports. That's just facts. And he knows it. So the thing what a lot of people say is like, bro, you didn't have to address him at the game. You understand where I'm coming from? You did not have to address him during the game. You did not have to. You did not have to. And because he did that, this is the firestorm that followed. But I kind of felt like LeBron knew what he was doing because this is LeBron James. Nothing he does, right, is ever, it's an accident or anything else like that. He understands what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Like, you get where I'm coming from? He knows what he's doing. So when you make a move like this, you know what's going to come out after. You know there's going to be problems. You know people are going to be mad. You know Stephen A is going to readdress you. You know there's going to be certain words said. And mind you, I don't disagree with LeBron feeling slighted by Stephen A. Because once again, to be fair, LeBron James is the most hated athlete, or at least the most criticized athlete in the world. This is what the NFL and NFL media does to Lamar, turned up globally. Because once again, the NBA is more global than the NFL. So it's a nonstop thing. Nonstop. And it doesn't slow down. So that's why I said, you know what I mean? He knew, he was just, I think with LeBron James, he was tired. He was totally tired of it. He was tired of the foolishness. I got your truth. I'm here. I'm fixing it in the background where we're going. You know I'm going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And now, yeah, RP Young Dolph. Eli Sports guy, facts. And now, this is what comes from it. Now, guys, like I said before, I'm not on either man's side. I understand the slights. I understand that the media has been going at LeBron for 2 decades, and the man is simply tired of it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, this is him pretty much putting his foot down and saying, look, I don't need you guys. You guys need me more than I need you. And I don't care if I disrespect you at this point. I don't care if you feel the type of way at this point. I'm going to let you know exactly how I feel. Now, LeBron said some out-of-pocket things, a lot of out-of-pocket things during that podcast that I did not agree with. He did. Like him saying, 70s basketball and everything else. If Giannis was taking into 70s basketball, he'd average 250 points a game. It's like, wait. If the 70s basketball was allowed to evolve, same players given the same level of medications, conditioning, everything else, that's what this is. You have the opportunity and the ability to be a billionaire because of the foundation that those men laid. To then say, he can go back there and just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's like, come on now. And I know some people saying terrible and everything else. Look, Wilt Chamberlain was a freak athlete. The man was doing high jump, long jumps, track and field. He could bench like 400 or 500 pounds. Like, you understand where I'm coming from? If you plucked out Wilt Chamberlain and the greats back that time and let them grow up in this era, there'd be monumentous stars. You think people are on, what's his name? Wemby? Like, do y'all not know who Wilt Chamberlain is? And that's the crazy thing. Even now, they try to dispute, like, he didn't score 100 points in the game, everything else like that. You go ask the former NBA players that had to meet that man in the 80s and the 90s. And they were like, bro, he's a monster. Go ask Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he was on thing with him, when he was on set with him, he was like, bro, I'm the power man. I'm the strong lifter. He's out benching me easily. Like, Arnold was like, oh my God, he's a monster. Like, you don't think that type of freak athlete can work in today's NBA? When you can't touch, breathe, anybody? Bro, come on, that's an ignorant statement. But once again, this is LeBron acting out of emotion. This is the first time LeBron James is acting out of emotions. And this is what you're getting. A lot of times when you act out of emotion, you don't care anymore. You're like, I don't care if the place burns down. I don't care. Everybody's catching this work. You're catching this work. She's catching this work. All of you are catching this work. That's the energy when you act out in emotion. Because emotions are not rational at times. LeBron James has probably been one of the most, if not the most calculated athlete of all time, to say the least. This is the first time he said, screw the public image, I don't care. And that's pretty much what happened. FYF Sports Debate, good morning, how you doing? No one said Wilt couldn't play today. It's the old heads that pretend the players can't play back. Well, also too, to be real, right? A lot of these guys are going through injury protocols. Let's be real, if you took LeBron, that $1 million, expense for his body, he wouldn't have it back then. The air travel to games, he wouldn't have it back then. The access to certain training regimens and devices and everything, he wouldn't have it back then. And back then, they're allowed to foul you. See, that's what I'm trying to tell people. You have to understand that there's levels. Like, I always tell people this, it's not talent, it's surroundings, it's environment. If you pluck the 70s player right now, he wouldn't have everything that these other players have because they've been allowed to develop a certain way, right? He'd have the talent, but he wouldn't have all the extra stuff because he didn't grow up playing that way. In the same text, all the stuff that's afforded to the players today would not be available. How much injury do you think the NBA, think about this real quick. The NBA right now, we are arguing is the most coddled it's ever been. This is the most coddled era of NBA players that we've ever seen, right or wrong. On top of it, it's the most protected NBA stars era of NBA stars ever. Are you going to say I'm right or wrong on that? Right? So now you're looking at it and say, okay, no more of those protein shakes. Right? That's gone. All that flight travel, now you're taking the bus where it's cramped for your 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", oversized behind pause, okay? And it's bumpy road. This ain't no magnetic spring and suspension. There's no Cadillac. Only Cadillac you guys the car. People smoking around you. And people are allowed to foul you in the air. And guess what? The courts are a little slippery. The shoes aren't as bouncy. They're made off of waffle irons. So your feet hurt even more. And if you get injured in ACL, you're finished. Broken bone in your foot, you're finished. Achilles, you're finished. There's no, I could come back because of the meds. No, they would know. What they would do is they would put you in a chop shop. Doctor blowing smoke over you, you know what I'm saying, your open wound, so the nicotine gets in your bloodstream from your ankle, you know what I'm saying, like, don't worry about it, man, you're going to be back to, give you about a year and a half, you know what I'm saying, and if you re-tear after that, you might not walk again, they might say to chop off your foot, so come on now, bro, like, come on now, I'm not, listen, man, I'm talking at the same time. Nitro, the 49ers lost like 4 or 5 guys this offseason due to injury, the KC guys, other than Rice, all came back. I'll touch on the football in a couple. But I'm right now, I'm on the basketball stuff. but that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's an ignorant statement. Jordan said it best. We're in different eras. We played under different rules, different what's it called? Stresses. Like, I didn't get to play against those guys. FYF? No, they weren't. I don't know what tape you watch, because listen, I grew up watching Pistol Pete Maravich. When I was young, you know how much tape I watched the Pistol Pete? World Be Free? Frazier? Walt Frazier? Like, they were not soft at all. They were not soft at all. At all. And I'm going to be, and like I said before, you know what I'm saying, 80s was even worse. Mind you, where's my phone? Watch this. Just to show you, right? Because a lot of people don't understand time. Jordan came in the league in 84. 70s players are Magic and Bird. Kareem. You understand that, right? James Worthy. Like, those are the stars. Hold on. Magic, listen. Magic. I'm going all the way down. Iceman, George Gervin, set the tally. Yes, George Gervin. Like people like what's it called? Dr. J, Moses Malone. Like, and that's my problem. Like, you don't think Moses Malone could play in today's era? Dr. J couldn't play in today's era. Chocolate Thunder couldn't play in today's era. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't play in today's era. Hold on. I want to check something real quick. I want to see something. Because I want to check exactly when he was. Yeah. Jack Irvin Magic Johnson came in the 70s. Bird came in the... I knew I wasn't tripping. They came in the 70s. So you're going to... So this is what I'm trying to tell you. And some of these guys that you see back then, you ever notice that? They be like, yo, they got that grown man strength. Them dudes is unnaturally strong, bro, for no reason. You got dudes that are older, like in their 60s now, that dudes now still won't play with. Because it's like, bro, he a problem. He'll box your face off and leave you. Like, you think Nitro got the slap. No, these guys got the slap. The problem is some of y'all are thinking 50s and 60s. That's the problem. Like 70s, they could ball. Producer, I said Walt Frazier. Everybody knows Jerry West. Elgin Baylor. Hakeem, not every big man. He would easily destroy every big man in today's game. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing would absolutely rewrite record books in today's NBA, where it's open floor. And remember, Patrick Ewing was known for that sweet stroke pause. That's what he was known for. And they're playing in your chest. And Hakeem could run the floor like a gazelle. Hakeem was running like Giannis, but he was taller and bigger. Just for y'all FYI. That's the same thing that was like Shaq. Shaq, when he first came in the league, could run like a Giannis could run. But he was 7 feet tall. Robert Parrish, one of the longest tenured players of all time on the Celtics. Kevin McHale, Bernard King, you already know. The New York Knickerbockers and everything else. Hakeem Olajuwon wouldn't average 10 points in today's NBA. Karl Malone is the 80s. Karl Malone is the 80s. Shaq, at times, got bullied. Hakeem Olajuwon bullied Shaq. Like, y'all don't, like, bro, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, like, when I talk about ball, I do this. Like, that's what I grew up in. That's the sport I played. Like, I'm telling you. Hakeem put Shaq in the blender. If, matter of fact, perfect example. If you think Tim Duncan, even in his longer years, that was beating the Miami Heat with the San Antonio Spurs at record points, that's against freak athletes like Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, right? Ray Allen was still on the team, right? They were blowing them out at a record pace in those finals. If you think that Tim Duncan, who they said was one of the great, he was dominating them and everything, that Tim Duncan was getting dominated by Shaq. And Shaq, when he started, was getting dominated by Hakeem Olajuwon. You want to put things into perspective, I will for you. Like, I do this. Bro, when Shaq first came in on the Orlando Magic, Hakeem bullied him. I don't got to ask you. Please go watch the games. Matter of fact, YouTube will bring it up. Go watch it. Remember, the Orlando went to the finals against the Rockets when the Rockets repeated. A lot of those guys can play today because it's free-flowing basketball. Tony Kukoc would be a star in today's NBA. Heck, I can go back to the early 2000s. Peja Stojakovic would be a star in today's game. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I grew up watching this. Like, I remember WGN. My grandmother, my aunt. I watched ball with them. Like, and that's what if you play ball, you'd understand what I'm saying. Like, I've been on the court with a guy that's 7 feet tall. 6'11", 6'10". In today's NBA where everything is spread out, could you imagine what Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, or a prime... Bro, you know another thing too what I love? Is even like when I bring up like Ray Allen. People didn't watch Jesus Shuttlesworth when he was still Jesus Shuttlesworth. Ray Allen used to run in the lane and leap over dudes and and just yamming on dudes. All y'all know is the 3-point gunner when he got older. Ray Allen was that guy. He was shooting, hit you with the double move. I remember when he caught that one dude with the cross, when he went like this, and right when the guy tried to get, he put it back like this, and the guy turned around, spun around like this. He was running, and hit it with that tong tong tong, and the rim went pong bang bang. Bro, like, that's what I'm trying to tell people. You gotta understand. Like, a lot of these guys can play now because the league is no longer as physical as it used to be. Did you not understand that with the European players before? Do you know why they weren't shooting all those threes before? The Kings are the ones that really got that thing going. They were, to me, the best balanced shooting team I've seen in a long time when the Lakers were still the Lakers and Chris Webber was still like prime Chris Webber before the knee injuries. They're the first team that said we could shoot. They're the first team that did it. But if you understand when you're playing a physical game of basketball, the first thing that goes out are your legs. Because back then you had to play defense. And defense tires you out. And when your legs go, every basketball player knows this. Your shot goes. Your shot, oh my God, this camera. Your shot goes. I think it's the cord. I really think it's the cord that's doing it. It's not the camera. I think it's the cord. Yeah, so that's the first thing that goes. You know what I want somebody to do? And I always get into this with people. When you have free time, don't even go back as far as the 80s, right? Look at the difference of basketball style and play from the early 2000s and now. All that extra stuff that Kyrie's doing, all of that back then are calls. They're like carry, palming, double dribble, travel. They're calling all of that. What do you think this double triple step back with what's it called? Made popular. Talk about something that's in the rule book. That's not a back. Taking a triple step back. Ha ha ha. You imagine Michael Jordan with a triple step back. Imagine Shaq was allowed to take 4 or 5 steps. Like, come on now, bro. Imagine Kobe with a triple step. Oh. Bro, come on now, bro. Y'all playing with me right now, bro. Imagine if, bro, y'all really don't, bro. Man, that's crazy, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Bro, and mind you, LeBron is one of those athletes that can play in any era. He's that freak of an athlete. But make no mistake about it, a lot of times, people, did you ever see how big Karl Malone was? The man was and he could shoot. Mid-range, he didn't miss. Bro, y'all need to know James Harden with that triple step back. People taking triple, quadruple step backs from crossovers and stuff like that, being like, oh yeah, I'm cooking now. No, you're traveling now. You got air mileage now. Chris Mullins was a gunner. Bro, his teammates, what's his name? Tim Hardaway, Sr., was on record even saying there were days where Chris Mullins shot the ball for 2 hours and did not miss. How good do you think a shooter like that would be in today's NBA? Imagine a more accurate shooting Klay Thompson. And they're not small neither. Like, people don't recognize, like, even Larry Bird. Like, people be like, oh, Larry Bird couldn't. Like, Larry Bird beat people playing with his left hand only. And Larry Bird was literally 6'10". I don't know what y'all be getting y'all stuff from, bro. All this, you picking up the ball, you holding it like this right here, and you going like this, then you can go back to dribbling. Bro, you would not be in the game. Like, come on now, bro. Like, even playing street ball, we weren't allowed to do all that stuff. People don't, we don't call traveling no more. We don't call palming no more. We don't call double dribble no more. Like, bro, y'all be picking up y'all pivot foots. Like, watch, like the fundamentals is no longer there. Exactly, Eli Sports Guy. A lot of them are, listen, I won't even say they're even more athletic. The two highest verticals in NBA history is Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. Y'all know that, right? Wilt Chamberlain had a 50-inch vertical. Are y'all going to say that's fake too? Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical. Are y'all going to say that's fake too? Bro, Vince Carter couldn't play. Like, bro, that's what I'm trying to tell people, bro. It's a whole different style of game. Those old school players were athletic out of their minds. What do you think? Everyone was weak back then? Back then, they was getting shot with bullets 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and they were surviving everybody. Everybody was 50 Cent back then. Exactly. They could fall and roll with the ball, no travel. Exactly. And you couldn't get back up when the ball, if you're on the floor, you couldn't get back up with the ball. You had to hit it to somebody else, like while you're on the ground and hope to tip it to somebody else so they could pick it up. I play ball, so I know. None of the flopping. Listen, Vlade Divac is who brought all that flopping in the game. Vlade. You know what that comes from? That flopping comes from soccer. I want you to understand the history of the game. That's where all that stuff, it's from soccer. A lot of European players grew up playing soccer. And when you know what I'm saying? They act for cards, red cards, and all that type of stuff, so they get free kicks. That's where all that flopping came from. Vlade Divac made flopping famous in the NBA. That's who did it. That's who really took it. And everyone's like, oh my gosh. Vlade. Ginobili was another one. Like, fundamental ball is gone. The crazy thing is, you can have a team full of stars and not win because they don't understand the fundamentals of the game. I remember having a shout to Sosa the Locksmith. That's one of my guys. I remember having a conversation with him before Phoenix came together. And I remember talking to him and I said, Sos, this ain't going to work. And he said, why wouldn't it work? I said, there's no point guard. There's nobody to distribute the ball with all of those scorers. Everyone's just going to be taking turns like it's my turn to score, your turn to score, my turn to score. You can't play basketball like that. And he's like, nah, it's just too, and he said that he feels it's too much. And I said, I'm telling you, Sos, if they don't got a point guard that can run that team the right way, that's going to be a horrible team. I'm telling you. He's like, bro, I'm like, if they add it, I'm telling you. Fast forward to now, everyone's saying Phoenix need to get broken up. And I said, I told you, he's like, bro, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I'm like, I told you it wasn't going to work. I told you it can't work. Because that's why you need balance. Old school basketball had balance. Bigs played like bigs. Forwards played like forwards. Shooting guards were shooting guards. Point guards ran the show. Now it's just a whole bunch of tweeners. It's big men that want to be guards. Guards that want to be big men. It's crazy out here. And mind you, it's always kind of been like that. But now, not on the floor, it wasn't like that. AD, that's where it came from. And if you watch enough soccer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. I remember there was a clip a while ago where a guy didn't get hit and he fell down. And he was like this on the stretcher at them carrying him off the field. Soccer's known for that. Come on now. It's no hate against soccer. Soccer is one of the greatest sports in the world. But that's where the flopping came from. If you watch soccer, you know that. Mind you, When I was in Liberia, I was there for the World Cup. My time in Liberia overlapped during the World Cup of that year. And also George Weah, which you know is a great soccer star, right, was running for presidency that year also. And I was in Monrovia, the capital. So I'm not speaking out the side of my neck, AD. I'm not. I was in a country where they worshiped that game. Everything stopped for that game. People would get killed for that game. So I'm not hating, I'm just being real. King Lee versus Nitro, 1v1. Who you got, chat? Don't do it, King Lee. I'm telling you, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. I haven't touched the ball in years, but don't do it. I told you guys before. Don't do it. Hey, don't do it, man. I told y'all this summer, I'm going to slim back down. I'm going to start posting some of the stuff I be doing my workouts. And when I'm on the court, and y'all going to be like, yeah. I'm like, I tried to tell you. You gonna be like, bro, I thought you was bluffing. That's what y'all gonna tell me. I thought you was bluffing, bro. I was like, I tried to tell you. I'm nice. I don't know where y'all got that I'm bluffing. yo, man. Hey, listen, if I ever go to Baltimore, I would love to go to the court and play with some of the people up there. And hopefully Lamar would be like, he want to go up there too. I heard Lamar could ball. So, and I know Zay Flowers used to ball, so maybe we can get up there and run a couple fives. You feel me? And I don't want to be on Lamar's team neither. I want to go against it, straight up. But, yeah, so, guys, football, listen. Everything that's been dominating. Nah, King Lee, it's all love, bro. It's all love. It's all love. You already know. I'm just deathly compared when it comes to that. But I'm serious, though, guys. Like, that's another thing I'm going to be doing on this channel. Because this summer, I'm not joking. I'll be fasting to start it, to get going. And just cleansing, like a strong 30-day cleanse. And then I'm going to get back into working out like heavy, like my sets, push-ups every morning, my sit-up sets every morning, my lunges every morning, all that stuff. Shoot around, and you're going to be out there with my phone, with my tripod when I'm working out, just talking to you guys and stuff like that with the thing on there, just having fun. So sometimes I'm going to be going live from the park or live from the gym. So I'm just letting y'all know that's coming up for this channel also. Yeah. But listen. The only thing about football that I'm worried about right now is the AFC North and the AFC North quarterback situation. Because let me tell you something right now. If the AFC North ends up getting Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, I'm going to be really P.O. Because I'm going to be looking at it like, bro, y'all is some evil people. Y'all, there's no other division y'all can go play for. Y'all going to come over here to come play for over here with this crap? Like, why is it that y'all want to keep playing in the AFC? No, there's nothing over here to like. Yeah, Eli, sports guy, the mid-range game is gone. Rip Hamilton was the last of a dying breed. Corey Maggette, last of a dying breed. That mid-range game, Kobe Bryant, last of a dying breed. Jared Thompson, he always lies. He's a liar. That's why his nose is so long. It gets longer every time he lies. If you're looking at this point, it's 3D. When he pointed at the screen, it looks like he's poking you in the face. It's nasty work with him. The truth, hey, listen, you're going to get cooked in Baltimore? Hey, look, if you believe so. Listen, man, y'all really don't understand, man. Y'all can talk that in football, right? Because I didn't grow up playing football. I grew up playing basketball. And I'm telling you this right now. You're going to see me playing and be like, oh, he's nice. I'm like, I'm a totally different Nitro. My confidence starts to reek out when I'm on a basketball court. And when I'm in shape, I'm going to come up there. And hopefully no one tries to fight. Because that's another reason I stopped playing. That's after the injuries I stopped because I lost the love of playing. I couldn't go any further. But all the fights. You know how many fights? That's where this hand came from. You know how many times people tried to take me out in the parks? Because they were like, bro, listen, I got in trouble in high school for taking people's money. Just for background emphasis, the walk-on for FAMU, I outplayed both their point guards and their shooting guard. That's where my scholarship was coming from. Y'all think it's a game? Bro, bro. Hey, y'all really don't understand? Like, I was nice at ball. Nice. Like, nice. It's just, things happen. And you got to pivot. No pun intended. I just don't want no more fights, man. You know how many times I bust people's tail? I don't even talk trash when I'm playing either. I just play. But when I start to really bust tail, people start to swing in, grab me by the neck. And I be like, bro, yo, chill. And then they'll get mad that you like, yo, what you grab me like that? Stop being, you know, they start using certain words. Man, you being soft. I'm just going to say you being soft. But you know the other words they be using. Are you serious right now? You just took me out of the air. Yeah, shut up. You ain't going to do nothing. So then that's when the hands start to get the flying. And then their friends come in, and that's where all the fights happen. Every single time, bro. I remember one time I came home, all of this was ripped up on my eye and my lip. My father was so pissed. Now look at your face. I was like, they tried to stop me, bro. And I still ran them off the court. And some of those guys were going in for like the running guns and the tryouts in Vegas and stuff like that for the NBA. 2 of them played in the G League. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. But Shadur, listen, I don't want Shadur in the AFC North either. I do not want him in the AFC North. Go be in the NFC and be nice, bro. Like, what are these teams? Like, why are all these athletes trying to come to the AFC North? Stay over there. Matter of fact, go be a Patriot, bro. Go be all you can be, bro. Why are you trying to come over here, bro? Like, you notice how the only division they constantly try to make harder is the AFC North? Why isn't the division with Patrick Mahomes trying to get inherently more difficult? I know that the Patrick Mahomes division has gotten better, but it got better organically. Like, coaches came in, they let go a lot of their star players, and they built up younger guys, and the younger guys started to play well. That's inevitable. But us, it's like, nah, we taking star players and throw them in the AFC North. Hopefully we can shake some stuff up. Let's go. Yes! Blasphemy. Blasphemy. A soccer player would never say they're better than Pele. Baseball players would never say they're better than Babe Ruth or Jackie Robinson. Hockey players are not saying exactly. Facts. Facts. Because once again, if they were good in those circumstances, right? If they were good with that limited amount of medicine advancements, right? And you see them in their old age, a lot of those guys, still able to shoot and gun, still able to cross over and do crazy things with the ball, right? You're like, dang, man, he can still shoot like that at 65? And they don't miss and stuff. Imagine what they would do with advancements of medicine. Imagine if they could have had those protein shakes, those extra long flights out of town. Like, come on now, bro. I'm real about it. I stay real. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please remember to like and subscribe. We got 34 people in here. Please hit up the likes. Let's get this thing up there, please, 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 please. And remember, if you want to donate, we donate through the Cash App until we get to 500 people. Then we'll be able to do it through the super chats. But right now we can't. So if you do want to donate and you're feeling a little blessing, you got to do it through the Cash App. But yeah, so like I said before, man, it's just disrespect. And I think, once again, you know, with NBA, a lot of times it's a lot more one-on-one. It's a lot different than some of these other sports. You know what I mean? You're so much more one-on-one a lot of times with guys that can take you one-on-one and everything else and do all these things. So it's a lot more personal. Like, you know how personal it gets between wide receivers and cornerbacks? It's like that for everybody on the basketball court because that's how the game is played. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like a lot of that comes from basketball, just that type of energy you get. You know what I'm saying? About, I can beat you, I don't care, da. That's why it gets like it, because a lot more, it's a lot more one-on-one play. Rumor is Dak to the Browns. Abdul Carter is who they're targeting in the draft. Hate it. Habitual line stopper, not Nitro. You wouldn't like that. Like what habitual line stopper? Tell me. Q Jones, you stay in the fights on the court, bro. Bro, I'm dead serious. They used to take me out of the air. Take me out of the air, bro. And I was fast. I wasn't even like a dunker. Because that actually stunted my dunk progress. Because I'm like, bro, y'all kept trying to hurt me. Like, they would try to take your legs out from under you. I remember one time I was in Orlando at their big gym that's there. We were running some running gun, and at the time, the big guy down here, I forgot his name, but he went to Northport. He was a big basketball player here. He was like 6'7", 6'8". I did him dirty. You can ask him that. If you ever look up between 2006, 2007, 8, go to Northport High School and look up the athlete that was there. That big, highly touted guy, I did him dirty. And we went up there and we were playing, and one of the guys, I remember it started off fine. We were running it, and then we ended up winning like 2 straight games. And I stole the ball, and I went for a layup, and the guy just ran under me, and I fell on the back of my head, and I was down for a second, and I was shaking my head. And I remember he was like, "Yo, you being soft right now? Get up." I'm like, and I saw red, like I was ready to take his face off, and he looked at me, like, "Yo, you being soft? Get up." Like what? Like yo, and that's what those beer fights at this stuff. Travis Hunter with Malik Neighbors is scary. Very much so. Very much so. Q Jones, look at LeBron. He's 40, giving people buckets. A whole different NBA. The physicality is gone, so it's less wear and tear on your body. Guys don't even want to play defense that hard anymore. So it's even less wear and tear on your body. A lot of times like a running gun. It's like ball at the gym. A lot of times, like you're running and gunning, a lot less structure. It's just drive and kick. That's all it is. There's no structure, no triangle. There's no rotation action off the elbow. None of that stuff. He actually said before the Chiefs were on one of the most injured. Listen, man, I do not like Nick Wright. Jared Thomas, I do not like him. The reason why is because, once again, he makes excuses. When they win, it's, they're the best. I expected it. There was no surprise here. When they lose, they're injured. The media was, they were cheating. They need to change the rules. Andy Reid didn't do it. Like, it's excuse. So that's why I say I don't like it. Be real. If you get beat, you get beat. And they got murderized. What was it? 3 Ninjas? Remember, let's murderize them. That's what happened to them. There's still physicality in NBA. The Warriors and Heat run the triangle now. Hey, FYF, you know what the perfect excuse was? And I remember this. A lot of people, when Kevin Durant was being called the greatest scorer they've ever seen, stuff like that. I remember I went back to some people. I said, if you play him physical, he's not the same player. He's not. He's not the same player. Yo, you can't do nothing with a 6'10" guy with a crossover and a jumper. Draymond Green showed you exactly what you could do with that. What happened to the Thunder? How well was he shooting at that point? He wasn't injured or anything. The referees allowed him to play a little bit physicality, and Kevin Durant's game went down the poop shoot. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, everybody that has played basketball understands this. The first thing to go in basketball is your legs. Because of all of when you're playing defense and you're down like this, you know on your calf and in your quads, you're sore. That's why you do so much lunges. That's why you do so much championship runs. That's why you do those things. The first thing to go in basketball is your legs. When you're truly tired and they tell you, head up, breathe through your nose. Breathe. Hand on that. And you're sitting there trying to catch that breath, and your legs are burning because you're playing defense. Now they're not playing defense. So when you're playing physical and you're forced to play defense, now all of a sudden your shot can't fall because your legs are the first things to go. FYF, didn't I just specifically said the refs actually allowed them to play in that series? They started to allow them to play physical ball. And Draymond was allowed to be a little more physical with Kevin Durant. Overall, the game is super soft now. You can't even argue it. It's like there's irrefutable proof to it. But we've seen in playoff series The refs will allow certain teams to play physical. Certain series to, all right, we're not going to use the whistle like we usually do. Go on. That's been the problem with James Harden. James Harden gets into the playoffs, and now he's not getting the ticky-tack calls anymore. So he's a different player. He's not going to the free throw line all that time. Come on now, man. Don't try to trip me up. I remember everything I said. This is not Stephen A. Smith. I remember everything that I say. Everything. No, it has not always been physical. It gets more physical. But it hasn't always been. No, it gets more physical than the regular season. But regular season was never this soft. Think about some of the calls these guys are like. I don't even say think. Just go back to the tape. What are we doing here? Come on now, bruh. Oh, gosh. Everything is relative, right? Listen, you know how bad it is? Even during the, what series was that? The series between Dallas and the Lakers. I think that's the year Nowitzki won his title. And you remember when, what's his name? I forgot the Laker guy, the Laker center, that knocked J.J. Barea out the air. And everybody acted like he tried to kill him. Those were normal fouls. Those weren't flagrant fouls or anything or technical fouls in the 80s. Heck, they weren't in the 90s. The rule, FYF, once again, you can go to the rules. You can go to the rules. We can bring it up and look for flagrant fouls and everything else and when they were called, how they were called and everything else. We can go just by that. You're going to be wrong on this, bro. We can go that way. We can even do another time. I'm not going to be live tomorrow. On Monday when I'm live again on this channel, we can do that. You can bring it up. I'll put all the statistics right there in front of you. And I'm going to look at you and say, now what do you guys do? Well, you know that it's more based on the referee. No, it's not based on the referees. It's a softer game. It's a more openly flowed game. No, it wasn't. This is how I know you don't watch basketball, bro. No, it wasn't. Do you know when it changed? It changed when the Detroit Pistons tried to take Michael Jordan out of the game that way. Like they were grabbing him by his neck and then dropping him on his back. That's when the NBA started to say, nah, we're not doing that no more. Nah, that's a flagrant. That's when the rule change really started. You're not going to win FYF. You're not. And you know what the crazy thing is? I don't like that because I don't even bet like that. I've had people do that and then go ghost. I'm not playing that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how this man's really going to argue about if the game is still physical when even the players now know it's not as physical. David Stern spoke on the physicality of the game. Your new commissioner spoke on the physicality of the game. He came out himself and even said they didn't want it to be as physical because it stopped the free motion of game. You wouldn't get a lot of the creativity that you're getting now. Oh my God. This man said the Pistons were not hard fouling MJ. Okay, you're done. Okay. Once you said that, you lost all credibility, bro. All credibility. Okay, I don't got to argue with you no more. Once you said that, Pistons were not hard fouling MJ. Oh my God. Oh my, bro. Yo, somebody clip this, bro, please. Clip this. Clip this. The Pistons weren't not hard fouling MJ. Jordan cried because they played good defense. Yeah, you're done, bro. That's done. That's finished. Bro. Oh my gosh. You know what's the crazy thing is? And I don't even dislike the Pistons because if you do know basketball history, the Pistons were getting bullied. The Pistons were the team that guys were taking low blows and cheap shots at. And they got tired of it and said, let me show y'all just how evil we could be. Like when Magic Johnson did that to Isaiah Thomas to open up their finals when the Pistons lost against the Lakers. That's how all the other teams, the Celtics, used to beat the crap out of the Detroit Pistons. And then the Pistons finally, if you understand the history of the game, the Pistons finally said, no more. We're going to start doing this. Let's play that game then. And they started playing physical. You had a lot of physical teams back then. Phoenix was physical. Knicks were physical. Exactly. This man said they didn't try to take him out. Oh, man. It's all right, bro. I'm not even going to argue. God bless you, though, bro. God bless you. yo, that's like, bro, that's like someone saying like Allen Iverson they never had a crossover, or Kobe Bryant really wasn't a good shooter. It's like, what? Come on now, bro. All right, no problem. But guys, we're ending the show today, right? So, and you know how we end the show every time. We come with a little bit of nostalgia, throwback to the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And today, I got to throw back to the early 2000s, right? Now, if you were born in the 80s and you were a teenager in the 2000s and stuff like that, that's when cell phones really took off. If y'all remember that, right? You remember that when cell phones really took off. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest phone at one time that took off, if anybody remembers it, was the Nokia. Oh, the brick. This phone, you could run over it. You could shoot it with a 9mm pistol, revolver, semi-automatic weapon. Heck, you can hit it with a hand grenade. It's not breaking. It would still work. It would still charge. It would still pick up wherever you're at. Bro, this phone. My dad had this phone. I remember it vividly. He had the black version of this phone. I know you're gonna say because you're black. No, I'm not. No pun. No, like his phone was the black version of this Nokia. And I remember. Hold on. Will I am? Don't get it yet. I got you, bro. So, and I remember during Hurricane Charlie, because I was in Port Charlotte for Hurricane Charlie while it happened. Yes, but what this place looked like a bomb went off here. No power for months. Potable water wasn't good for like a month and a half. Certain stuff like that. My dad's Nokia phone during the storm, after the storm, before the storm was still operational. That's when Verizon just started. I'll never forget it. My dad got his phone for a penny. For a penny on the new Verizon network. And when Hurricane Charlie hit, after it was done, it was pretty much nightfall. Nightfall came pretty quick. There was no lights nowhere. It was pitch black outside. When the morning, he was calling up the people from New York from the Nokia. Because remember back then, we had minutes and stuff like that. You had a certain amount of minutes. You had like 200 minutes, 300 minutes. You had like 50 text messages or something like that. He called up to make sure everybody knows we were okay. It's horrible down here though. Stuff like that happened. And I remember the next morning, people was coming over to use his phone because it was the only phone that we known in my area. I know there's other people, but in my church at the time we had like 100-something people at the church. He was the only phone that worked. Only phone on the entire block going down miles, because the block where I lived, it would cut to the main streets. It went through like 3 main streets. And eventually, if you kept going down, and it was the only phone that worked all the way down that way. People had a line to use my father's phone. This phone was absolutely ridiculous. King Lee said the Navy one. Yes. And guess what? You know what's so funny? To show you I'm so much of an 80s baby and I was a teenager during that time, you know I had to bring up Snake. That game was amazing. One of the most simplest games ever made, but everybody loved that game. Why do you think it's up there? What do you think I was going to bring up the Nokia phone without the game Snake? What do you think this is? You think I'm a heathen? Just an absolute dastardly individual? Never! Yes, Snakes. Free night and weekends, 10 cents a text. Yup. And you remember when they came out with the beeps? With the Nextels? And everyone had the beeps? Yo, just hit you with, what's it called? The walkie-talkie? My first cell phone that was my dad, like when I was a kid. I remember he had that. My first cell phone came from Singular Wireless. You remember Singular Wireless? Yeah, that was my first cell phone. Bro, you already know, bro. We got to have fun. Listen, guys, simpler times. The chirp. Yup, I want my chirp back. 86. Yo, you remember when the Sidekick came out? All the rappers had it, and the screen would flip up like that. The Blackberries. Yeah. Like, bro, all those phones. You know what's funny? Show you how time changes everything. Apple phones, the iPhones, the only people that had iPhones when I was younger were doctors and lawyers. Those are the only people that had the Apple iPhones when they first came out. If you had an Apple iPhone, you were either in the entertainment business, a doctor, a lawyer, or you were flipping them things, or a famous athlete. When Apple and the first 3GS came out, those were so expensive. Remember when they came out with the first fully functioning touchscreen and everything else? Bro, only doctors and stuff could afford those phones. Exactly. The first touch phone broke our minds. I remember I had a touchscreen phone, but it wasn't nowhere near I forgot the 3-point touchscreen that the Apples are now or ended up becoming. The Nextel was crazy in school because everyone was hitting me on the walkies. I never had a Nextel. And everybody was trying to steal other people's Nextels so that they could put their SIM cards in there and use their... Oh, man, it was nasty, bro. It was just nasty, man. I remember the old gold. Remember you could put the shells on them for the Nextels? And then you never had to open them. You just hit the beep beeps. And you could just talk through the top of the... Because it had like a receiver at the bottom of the top of the phone. You would flip it open. Bro, crazy. Hulian said, my first iPhone, I just knew I could hack a satellite. Facts, bro. Like, oh my God, man. And this is part of the show that I really love doing, the throwbacks. Because it brings it back to those days. Do you remember how simple those days were? How happy. I remember getting the iPad when it first came out. And I remember it blew so many people's minds that I had the iPad. I'll never forget it. My mom had a daycare, and I went out there and I got one. And my sister, right after I ordered hers. And my father was just like, "What? Why'd you waste money?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm telling you, this is where this is going. This thing can do everything. I'm telling you." And one day I remember my father was like, "All right, whatever." He started using mine. And he fell in love with this so much, he ended up buying one for my grandmother, buying one for my mother, buying one for himself. When my child got a certain age, he bought one for her. Like, yeah, man. So it's a total different, just, man. Yeah, man. Throwback. I hope y'all smiling, man. I hope y'all smiling heavy, man, because those are the memories. Listen, my mom, TJ said my mom had a daycare for 30 years. For real, my mom's daycare was for about probably like around 12 years. My mom had so many kids, man. It was ridiculous. It was like they turned an entire home into a fully functioning, and I'm talking about a home with like 4 bedrooms, into a daycare. The garage was cut off and turned into another into another classroom. And they got so big they had to buy another place and then host the after school program, you know what I'm saying, at another church. That's what I was doing mostly in. At first I was in the baby room for about I want to say about a year, and then I did fully after school after that. And I'd have one of the buses, and I'd pick up the kids, some of the kids, and then we had to run 2 buses to pick up all the kids for after school. To show you how crazy it was. Yeah. I remember Faye, Miss Becky, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people there. A lot of kids. It was a lot of great memories, man. A lot of those kids now are in their 20s. They're young adults. So, yeah, man, shout out to you, man. It's crazy when, time flies. It really does. LG Juke, y'all remember that? I don't remember that. What was the LG Juke? Oh my God, the Sony Ericssons. Yes! Bro, y'all bringing me back, man. Take me back, dear Lord, and I first believed. That's crazy, bro. Yo, listen, man. Listen. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Don't worry. We got some other stuff we're going to bring it up back here. But that's the episode of the Wonder Kid Morning Show. Thank you guys for watching and being a part of it. You know we start back Monday morning sharp. Hopefully the internet will be working. Wholeheartedly will be alive from 9:30 to 10:30. I had Virgin Mobile. Right? Listen, so that y'all know, because I'm real about this, my Virgin Mobile worked for me for years. And then they closed Virgin Mobile and sold it to Boost Mobile, and I got Boost Mobile. So yeah, my Boost works amazing, and I love it. So I had Virgin Mobile for years. Virgin Mobile gave me my first iPhone pretty much for $50. The plan that I got, Virgin Mobile did a plan where if you bought the phone, it was for, no, not 50, it was for $100, and you would pay $1 for your service for 6 months. So that's when I got on Virgin. I was like, and they never gave me no problems. It never. My parents had T-Mobile. My friends had Sprint. My dad had Verizon for a long time until they got too expensive, and then he switched over to T-Mobile. And my Virgin Mobile never gave a problem. They were like, yo, my phone not working, or this. The only phone that never dropped calls that any of my people ever had was my father's Verizon. They never dropped no calls, never nothing. No matter where you were, it got service. But that Virgin Mobile, no matter where I was, like the Virgin Mary, it was pure. Shout out to Virgin Mobile, man. I love that carrier, man. Shout outs. But like I said, you guys know what it is. Remember to please like and subscribe to the notification bell. And if you haven't already done so and you would like to like, subscribe, and if you want to leave a donation in there, guys, you know how to do it. In the description of every video, we got the Cash App. Because, of course, we don't got Super Chat. We don't got memberships yet. That's what we're trying to get this channel to the 500. We can start doing the memberships for this channel. So, but until then, this is how you do. If you want to help, just send it. That's how you do it through the Cash App. All right, guys? But like always, that's an episode of the Wonder Kid Morning Show. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful morning. And, guys, I love you guys. And you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yerp!
Finish him, Daddy. Do not